Most people assume that cutting off family means someone is cold, ungrateful, or dramatic. But what if distance wasn't chosen out of anger? What if it was chosen out of survival? People don't walk away from family easily. They walk away after trying to stay for years. In this video, we're not talking about hatred or rebellion. We're talking about the psychology behind why some people choose distance over blood, silence over chaos, and peace over tradition. If you've ever wondered why someone would cut off their own family, stay with me, because the reasons are deeper than most people realize.
It usually follows repeated boundary violations. Cutting off family rarely happens after one argument or disagreement. It happens after patterns repeat. At first, boundaries are expressed gently, then clearly, then desperately. When someone repeatedly ignores emotional limits, dismisses feelings, or violates personal space, the brain begins to register the relationship as unsafe. Over time, explaining becomes exhausting. Defending yourself becomes routine, and the body starts reacting before the mind does. Distance becomes the only boundary that finally works.
Emotional safety becomes more important than loyalty. Family loyalty is deeply ingrained in many cultures, but the nervous system prioritizes safety over tradition. When interactions consistently trigger anxiety, shame, or emotional pain, the body learns that proximity equals threat. No matter how strong the family bond is, the brain will choose regulation over loyalty. This is why some people feel calmer the moment they step away. It's not relief from love, it's relief from danger.
They usually tried fixing the relationship first. Before cutting off family, most people tried everything they knew how to try. They explained themselves repeatedly. They forgave without repair. They minimized their own needs to keep peace. Some stayed silent to avoid conflict. Others overfunctioned to keep everyone happy. Cutting off doesn't come from a lack of effort. It comes from effort that was never met halfway. Guilt doesn't disappear after the decision. One of the biggest myths is that cutting off family feels empowering and freeing all the time. In reality, it often brings mixed emotions. Relief and grief exist together. The mind understands the logic of the decision, but the emotional bond doesn't turn off on command. Many people feel guilt even when the decision protects them, not because it's wrong, because attachment doesn't dissolve just because boundaries are necessary. The decision is about patterns, not single events. Outsiders often focus on the final argument, but that moment is usually just the last drop. The real reason lies in cycles. Same behaviors, same harm, same apologies without change. The brain learns patterns faster than words, and when patterns repeat, hope becomes dangerous. Cutting off family is often the moment someone accepts reality instead of waiting for potential. Distance can be a form of self-regulation. For some people, cutting off family isn't rejection, it's regulation. When a relationship constantly triggers stress, conflict, or emotional overload, the nervous system stays in survival mode. The body never fully relaxes. Thoughts race. Sleep becomes shallow. Anxiety lingers in the background, even during quiet moments. Creating distance reduces that constant stimulation. With fewer emotional shocks, the nervous system has space to settle. Breathing becomes deeper. Sleep improves. Mental clarity slowly returns. For the first time, The body experiences calm without needing to brace for impact. This choice isn't about punishment or proving a point. It's about creating enough emotional safety to function day to day, enough quiet to think clearly, enough stability to heal. Sometimes, healing doesn't happen through more conversation or forced connection. Sometimes, it begins with distance. And in that space, the body and mind finally learn what safety feels like. Cutting someone off doesn't always come from hatred or indifference. For many people, the love never disappears. What changes is the level of access. They may still care deeply about the family members they distance themselves from. They remember the good moments. They feel gratitude, nostalgia, even grief. But they also recognize that closeness comes with emotional cost. That repeated contact reopens wounds that never fully heal. Love doesn't always mean staying close. Sometimes it means acknowledging that connection as it exists causes harm. Not because anyone is evil, but because the dynamic itself is unsafe. In those cases, boundaries become an act of care. Care for one's mental health, emotional stability, and sense of self. And sometimes those boundaries aren't temporary, they're permanent, not to punish, but to protect. Love can exist quietly from a distance, without access. Outsiders often misunderstand the choice. Society places a strong value on family unity. From a young age, people are taught that family should always come first, no matter what. So when someone chooses distance, the decision is often misunderstood. They're labeled as selfish, cold, or unforgiving. What outsiders usually see is the final act, the moment someone steps away. What they don't see are the years that came before it, the emotional labor, the constant adjusting, the attempts to communicate, to tolerate, to make things work while slowly losing themselves in the process. Many people who cut off family don't do it impulsively. They do it after exhausting every option they believed in, after realizing that staying connected required sacrificing their peace. Judgment often comes from those who have never had to choose between loyalty and mental health, between blood and emotional survival. Cutting off family isn't about winning arguments or proving a point. It's about survival, clarity, and choosing emotional safety when communication no longer protects it. Understanding this doesn't mean everyone should do it. It simply means recognizing that for some people, distance is not cruelty, it's self-preservation.